Hello, and welcome back to me! How are we all doing today on the YouTube channel? How are we doing, guys? It has been a while. The reason for that, I've been busy, as some of you might have seen. I have commentated UK Nationals, and then later on I commentated the EUWCQ in Brussels this year. So it's been a while since I uploaded. It's been, I think, nearly 2 months. It's been over a month, how much you're aware of. I've been busy. I've been really busy, but I have some decks that I want to do profiles of. I have some fun discussion points. I toyed with the idea of making like a tier list video as well. Have a bunch of ideas that I'd like to get into, but we are here today to talk about a new deck that I've been playing for a few days, testing out. I'm very enthusiastic about it because it seems quite powerful. So I'm going to take over to the deck profile. Get these back in place where they should be, because this is Light and Darkness Ritual Fiendsmith. Now, this deck can bridge both ways. The strategies have complementary aspects to them. They're both extremely grindy. Yeah, it's just kind of sick. Now, before I get into it, is this deck... Sorry, just want to... I stole these. These are cue cards. I stole them from the venues because I wanted them. And this is from Gatherer's Tavern, obviously. They do these boxes. Not sponsored, but they're just wonderful, so I wanted to display. This is my new favourite deck box. I'm taking this everywhere with me wherever I go. So I wanted it on screen. But yeah. I'm going to get into the profile and then explain to you some of the reasoning, some of the combos, some of the thought process behind the deck. So we, of course, have one copy of Magician of Dark Chaos, Black Chaos. I kept butchering this thing's name during the stream, as with this one, Black Soldier, Soldier of Light and Darkness. These cards are wonderful. The only thing that these cards could be, to be better, is to be Habakiri-like starters. If you could reveal these to add, these cards would be perfect in every way. They're still exceptionally good, don't get me wrong, but if you could reveal to add on these, they'd be perfect. You can't, so the deck's kind of bricky, and you can draw a handful of dead cards, but, you know, it's still very cool. 3 Griffo, this is the best card in the deck, by far. You are always happy seeing this in your hand. Going first, going second, this card is phenomenal. You know what, sorry, let me go over some of the effects of these. I need to slow down a bit fast. So, this has the effect of when it's summoned, you can add any spell card from your graveyard back to your hand. It can be called by the grave if you want it to be. Also has the effect of once per turn you can target one card your opponent controls, banish it. Also protects your spell and traps from targeting, from destruction and management. It's very powerful. This has the effect of when it's summoned, it can banish a card your opponent controls. When it attacks and destroys an opponent's master by battle, it can gain attack. And then attack again, goes to the 45. And Karma Destroy by battle. They're also both towers-like. They're unaffected by things that don't target them. So they're both phenomenal, and if you know what the deck's gimmick is with this card over here, Mind Shuffle, they can just tag in, tag out over and over. 3 Griffo. Has 2 effects. Firstly, basically, quick effect, discard this card to add for one of these effects. First is that it turns I think it's the next, the next battle or effect damage you take this turn becomes 0. These cards look weird. These are American print, and they look, the colours like really strange on them. Yeah, so they can protect you from damage if needs be, but also they have the effect of you can set a spell or trap that mentions Light and Darkness Ritual from deck, and it can be activated this turn. So this allows you to play your full combo out around Draw and Lockbird, because you do it all in the draw phase if you're going first. Wonderful, because the deck does struggle with draw otherwise. 3 Black Chaos. Very similar effect in that you can discard it to get the trap on the field. It does have to activate face up, so it doesn't lose harder into both Droll and Ghost Ogre, but this card's fantastic going second because it is a Towers-like monster which also can non-target banish 2 cards your opponent controls, and can also tag in, tag out with Mind Shuffle, so very powerful. Apologies. I'm running 1 Scarlet Fiend of Chaos in the main, and 1 in the side. I don't necessarily see the point in maining 2. I don't think it's bad to do so, I just don't really get why you would do it in this build at the very least. If you know your opponent's maining or playing like DD Crow, Magnum or something like that, then yeah, sure, I want to side in my spare copy just to be safe. I think it's good to have one just in case because a lot of your grind game is in this card, but I think most players aren't maining that, and Magnum's a one-off. So I'm not that bothered by it. I like it at 1. Onto the Fiendsmith stuff, we've got 3 Engraver, 1 Lacrima, 1 Lurie. That's fairly standard, I don't feel like to explain any of that. This is a weird one. This is the Unchained Soul of Shavara. This is part of the bridge of how you get from Fiendsmith into Light of Darkness. So if you open up with Engraver or Track the spell, it gets you a Caesar on the field, plus Light and Darkness combo. And this is part of the bridge. It is a brick, obviously. It does nothing by itself, and it's not the end of the world to draw, because you don't need to add it to your hand during the combo. It's just you do. You don't have to, though. So it's not the worst thing to draw. It's also just not kind of anything when you draw it. It is just kind of a dead card. It's a brick, not a garnet. You know, that's what I think of it. Onto the hand interactions, we have 3 Ash, 2 Ghost Spell, and 2 Ghost Ogre. Back on this ratio, I think whenever there's a format when these cards are both good, I think this ratio is really good. I think it works very well. I was running 3 of each for a bit. I found it's like I'm just drawing these all the time now. I think when there's a format when these cards are both good, 2 of each seems to work well. 2 Droll, of course, and 3 Fua, because, of course, that is it for the main monsters at the very least. Spells, we have 1 copy of Lion Darkness Ritual. Again, some lists I see playing 2 of these. I don't really get that. I'm sure there's reasoning behind it. I'm sure it makes sense. I'm sure it's good. I don't really get it. I'm playing 1. 1 seems to work well for me. Over time, I might change my mind. This works well for me at the moment. 3 Ragged Records of Rights. Just a starter for the deck. You reveal this in your hand or deck to add a monster that mentions it from your deck to your hand. So this just adds anything basically in your deck. It's very, very good. It has a graveyard effect too, which I have not had come up yet, but I don't see why it wouldn't ever. We also have 2 Trapped. Fiendsmith stuff. I was toying around with playing 3, but I think with 3 it gets a bit redundant. I think you have a lot of redundant hands when you play, when you play 3 of this and 3 Engraver, I think your hands become very redundant very fast. So I think 2 of this is fine. I think if you were going to cut anything else, you cut 1 Engraver, so it was like 2 and 2. I think that's probably the better way to play if you wanted to cut down that package, is the best way to do it. But I think 3 and 2 is fine. 3 TFA TV. It's so good. It's great. The format is great always. Quite a great card. 1 Call By and 1 Triple Tactics Talent. Standard stuff. And for the traps, we just have, unfortunately, 2 copies of Mind Shuffle. I posted a list of this on Twitter with 1 Mind Shuffle. And I was playing 1 Mind Shuffle for all of a day. And then throughout testing, I was like, oh no, I need 2. Because I was approaching this deck in the or at least the thought process behind this deck in the same this card, sorry, I should say, in the same way that I did Crowley, for example, Crowley the Gifted of Magistus, which is the same sort of thing. It's a brick and it sucks to draw. Unless you're playing pure Magistus, it's truly not the end of the world to draw that card. It's not fun, but you can deal with it. So many of your combos just don't work when you draw this. It is a really hard brick. It's a garnet of all garnets when you draw this. It really sucks. So I think 2 actually is needed, unfortunately. As much as I wish it weren't, I do not have ways to put it back in the deck or graveyard consistently. I have them, just not consistently. Onto the extra deck. 1 Almirage. It is there as part of your sort of full combo with this deck. And also, if you just want to go for a very, if all you start is Griffo, I generally will summon this, if only because it will, protect one of your rituals from being destroyed that turn. So if, for example, your opponent tries to TFA TV one of your rituals, which targets them would be an issue, just Almirage it, and then it's fine. So it gives that extra layer of protection to an already very sticky card, but also is part of the combo. 1 Requiem. 1 Sequence, 1 Agnum Day, 1 Unchained Soul Lord of Yama, and 1 Unchained Soul of Rage. These are part of the bridge, part of the combo. 1 Ripidocus, also part of going the other way, you turn to a Light Fiend, go from there. 1 DDD Wave Hiking Caesar, of course, 1 Goblin's Crazy Beast. Reason for that is a rank 6 Fiend, so when you have Shavara and our Fiend locked, you can still summon this. And also it's great in the mirror match, because it gets around the protection of the Magician of Dark Chaos, Black Chaos. I think that's the name. It gets around it because it's not destroying and it's not banishing. So this gets around that and just steals your opponent's Mind Shuffle. That's very good. One Ecclesia and one Albion. These are the only two TFA TV targets I have. I only think I need two because I can... Obviously, like, you send this, gets another one, this cycles this back, so you get, like, these two back in the deck. And if I really want to have one back in hand without having to search one, or set one from deck with Albion again, I can use Magician of Dark Chaos, Black Chaos to just add one back to hand. So I think two is really all you need with this. Arguably one, if you really want to play it with just one, but I don't see why you would. That seems pointless. Necroquip, Aerial Eater, part of the bridge. Lacrima, part of the bridge sometimes, and one Desiree, and that's it for the extra deck. For the side deck, we have 3 Meows. I am not ready to let this go yet. There are some decks you come up against where Meows is just very good, Malice is still around, Lunala is still around. It's just so good into those decks. It's good into other Fiendsmith decks, it's decent into Ritsurugi. There are some decks which just really do summon a lot from the Banishment and Graveyard, and I still like Meows for those. It's niche, but it does come up, and I like it. I personally like it, you don't gotta play it. Free Perulia, I don't need to justify that one. One Skull Archfiend of Chaos. I'm going to play one of these in the side deck and one in the main. I just like having the spare one just in case. I wasn't for a bit, but I think having the spare one just in case in certain matchups is useful. 1 Harpies, 2 Lightning Storm, standard. 1 Fiendsmith in Paradise. This card's quite nice to side in when going first. It does add another brick in an already bricky deck, but when you're going first and you know you want to play, it does set you up to just that extra layer of interruption, or like a free discard or something, you know, so it's not bad. 1 Solemn, and 3 Solemn Accusation. That is it for the side deck. I'm going to put these back in the right order because it will bug me if I don't. But we will also go over a quick combo guide as to how the bridges work as well. Because I think that's what people want to see, is how do these strategies blend and mesh. What I will say is if you start with a Griffo, that will lead you into full Fiendsmith combo. However, unfortunately, it doesn't leave you with any Light and Darkness combo. So if you want to bridge from Light and Darkness Ritual into Fiendsmith, you are better off doing that with a heavier hand of Light and Darkness. I think if you just start a Griffo, or you can't do it with just Black Chaos, if you just start with something like that, you just set up your sort of, what would the word be? Modest field, and then rely on your, hopefully, 4 other hand interactions to help you get going with that. So I will show you I'll show you the Fiendsmith one first, that makes more sense to me. I'll show you with Tract, because I'll explain the other one as I go. So say all you have in hand is Tract. This gets you kind of everything. So you Tract, you grab your Lurie, wherever it might be. There we go. Grab Lurie, pitch Lurie, summon Lurie. Lurie, you know. We link off into Requiem, and Requiem into Lacrima. Now at this point, if you'd started with Engraver into Tract, you wouldn't have to do anything here. I'll just quickly use Rectum Effect, I should say, to send this. Yeah, at this point, if you started Engraver, you wouldn't have to do anything here except for Engraver to summon itself by sending back Lurie, which I'm going to do here, and then you just link off into Sequence. However, because you need 2 level 6 Light Fiends in the graveyard here, I'm going to Tract Effect to fuse these 2 into Fusion Lacrima, summon whatever, and then go from there. If you already started with Engraver, you don't need to do that step, but this is just to explain if you start with a Tract. Here, Sequence. Sequence effect to fuse your Lacrima and Requiem from graveyard. Put that back over here. Into Aerial Eater. Aerial Eater effect to send a fiend from deck to graveyard. We'll go for a Griffo. You then want to link these 2 off into Unchained Soul Lord of Yama, which uses effect to add the Unchained Shavar, Unchained Shoulder Savara to hand. You then want to use Aerial Eater's effect to banish your Engraver and Lacrima to summon itself. and then link these two off into Unchained Soul of Rage. Use Shavara's effect to destroy Unchained Soul of Rage to summon itself. Then you want to go, you order your chain links how you want to here. I tend to go Rage 1, Yama 2. So Rage 1, target the Griffo, Yama 2 to non-target, banish itself to summon a fiend from the graveyard. And then optionally destroy a card you control. So summon it early, so don't destroy anything, and then you add Griffo to your hand. 2 level 6 fiends. You are fiend locked at this point when Shavara's on the field, so you can make either Caesar or Crazy Beast. So just go Caesar here for the sake of it being Caesar. And then you go Griffo. So I feel like that's kind of standard. You go Griffo, you set Mind Shuffle, activate Mind Shuffle, you add and discard Skull Archfiend effect to send. You know what? At this point, you could just go Habakiri. Like, if you wanted to, you could. I'm not gonna, but you could. So you go send Lion's Ritual, use that effect to add one of the Magician of Dark Chaos, Black Chaos to hand. You've not normal summoned yet in this combo, so you want to use Lion Darkness Ritual effect to add Griffo back to your hand as well. Normal summon Griffo, link into Almirage, it's just an extra layer of protection. You don't need it, it's just there to have, just it's nice to have. You then Ritual into Black Chaos Ritual, use the effect to add the back to hand. And then at this point you can summon Skull Archfiend should you want to. Don't think that you need to. If you had if you had space for a Link 2, a spare Link 2 I'll say. If I wanted to take out Crazy Beast, I could put in like SP. You could summon this back with its own effect and then link off into SP as well. I don't feel like you need to do that. At this point it's plenty enough interaction, because now during the opponent's turn you can Mind Shuffle for your other ritual that you don't yet have. Discard the spell. And there you go. So you've got your Almirage to protect from targeting, or for your Caesar if needs be. You've got your Caesar, which is to summon negates, and you can tag out over and over with Mind Shuffle. So that is just from Tract or Engraver. So that's full combo. Obviously plays very heavily into Fuel Loss, but you know, what doesn't? So that is the full combo with just one of your Fiendsmith starters. Does not work with Lurie or Lacrima, unfortunately. As with some other Fiendsmith combos, they can, but that one does not. But that's okay, because even if all you open is Lurie Lacrima or something like that, that's still like, you get, you know, Fiendsmith combo plus some non-engine, which is not nothing. So that's not, you know, it's not bad. It's something. It's a little bonus something. That's how you get access to that with just that starter. I'm then going to show you how you would. So you can go your Fiendsmith combo with just Griffo. Again, it's not really worth doing in my opinion, but you can do that. I'll show it to you, if only for the sake of showing you how the combo works. So you get your Griffo, set, activate, add send this, add this. All pretty standard so far. Effects of Lion Knight's Ritual to add itself a Griffo back. Normal summon Griffo, link into Almirage. You then this to banish this, summon this. Just double checking here. Yeah, you think you want to add this back to your hand at this point. Reminding myself of how it all works. You then link these two off into Reaperdocus. Effect to put all these back. Bottom of deck any order. Summon itself here. Reaperdocus, make it a light attribute. You now have a light fiend on the field. There you go. Now again, that I won't go in full fiends with combo because I'm sure you know how that works at this point. But yeah, so that's how you go when you start with Griffo. That's how you go Fiendsmith. Again, it's not like I wouldn't necessarily do that with just Griffo. I think that you're probably better off going for your standard Light and Darkness combo and just go from there. Like, keep it modest, doesn't play heavily into Fu or anything, so it's probably the better way to go. I would do it like that. However, if you open Griffo plus Ritual, or like a slightly heavier engine hand, I don't know all the lines behind this myself. I'm still trying to work it out as I go with this because it's still very new to me. But if you open a Ritual plus Griffo, this does get you your Fiendsmith combo plus Light and Darkness combo. So again, we'll go for Griffo, put us up there. Just going to go through it all again. Mind Shuffle, Mind Shuffle, Mind Shuffle. Send this, do this, add that. You add whichever one you don't yet have, and there you go. Once again, I'm going to do this. It starts off much the same. So adding this back to hand, normal summon, link, Almirage, ritual, banish this as your tribute, summon. You add this back to your hand. You then link these two off into Reaperdocus. Then ritual again here, banishing your Black Chaos from graveyard, your ritual Black Chaos, to summon Black Luster Soldier. Then you go for your Skull Archery in effect to put these back into the deck. I would go for these three. I don't think it matters that much, but that's what I would go for here. Make it a Light Fiend, go from there. So again, why that works here, you'd have more. You need like a discard here, I shall say. You need like a discard as well to make it work fully. But so you got your 4th Fiendsmith combo there. Again, won't go into too much detail on that. But then during the opponent's turn, you add the spare one, discard or whatever. And then you've got either your choice of a Desiree or a rank 6 of your choosing, plus your Mind Shuffle doobly-doos. So that's how that one works that way around. Slightly heavier engine hand gets you into your Fiendsmith combo. Now, my favourite thing to do with this is when you open a Griffo and an Engraver, because this gets you everything. So again, if you are sure your opponent does not have Droll, or you don't care about it for whatever reason, as in like you have like a cool buy in hand, you would probably want to wait for the main phase for this, because you can like get an Equip, discard and get an extra draw. But let's just say play safe, play around Droll. So your Griffo, draw phase stuff, you do the doobly-doo, you do the doobly-doo, add this, discard this, get this, add this, you're going from there. To be fair, this also plays into Droll, but you can stop with Tract as well, so, you know, either way. So, we go from here. At this point, I want to go for my Fiendsmith combo. So you go for Engraver, you discard it, you add the Tracts, you Tract for Lurie. Where's the gun? Where's the gun? There we go. Lurie, as you do. The reason I do this way around is because this is going to eat some interactions as well. You don't have to do it this way around necessarily, but I think it just works a little bit better. You do that, you send a Engraver. You then, at this point, want to equip and make Necroquip here. Then you do Light and Darkness effect to add Griffo back to hand and itself. You normal summon Griffo, you link into Almirage, this is important to do, and then you will go for Light and Darkness, banish, summon, add your choice of thing back to hand, just add this back to hand for instance, is all good. You then want to go for Engraver. Apologies, no, not Engraver, apologies. You want 1, 2, 3. So you go for Skull Archery in effect, put these back bottom of the deck in any order. See, this is a complicated combo and I'm still learning it myself. I came up with it, I'm learning it. To these 2 level 6 Fiends for Caesar. Then you put Lurie back with Engraver, you link these two into sequence, fuse, 1, 2, 3. Yeah. For Desiree, you can just stop there if you want to not run Agnum Day. I just think Agnum Day is kind of sick. Agnum Day, Desiree, sequence. So that is your 2-card combo. So the 2-card combo gets you literally everything. I would generally add this back to hand with Vision of Dark Chaos, Black Chaos, because when you then detach from this, you get this effect to send and search whatever. So you can, if you have another discard, instead of searching the other ritual during the opponent's turn, you can add Black Chaos to hand as an option, and then when you do that, you add the other ritual. So you basically get the extra search of that as well. So that's the deck, that's the combos, that's your standard stuff. Hope that all made sense. Hope that you thought that was cool. One little downside is I found out the other day is that you can't send Desiree back to your hand with Mind Shuffle because it can't go back to the hand, and it has to match cost exactly, and this is cost. So I thought that this was also a target for Mind Shuffle. Turns out it's not. That makes it a little bit worse, but I think the deck overall is still very good. I think, I'll be honest, as much as this deck, I'm very happy that I sort of stumbled into it. I think the deck is probably the worst version of the deck, other than maybe just Pure, which doesn't do a lot, you know? However, I do still think it's good. To call it the worst version of the deck, I don't think it's bad in the slightest. I think it's still a very good deck. I think it's still very strong and does a lot of cool stuff. So I'm liking this deck a lot at the moment. I think it's great. Again, it's very grindy. You may have noticed that during that like 2-card combo, you're left with 1 card in graveyard, because all of your stuff gets shuffled back. So it's extremely resource efficient. It can recycle a lot. It's very grindy. So that's why I like the deck so much. So yeah, as I say, I hope you guys hope you guys enjoyed. I plan to be back doing more deck profiles. I have a couple of ones that I'd like to record for the channel that I have the cards for now. And I have a bit more free time now because I'm not jet setting around, as it were. But yeah, thank you everyone who tuned in, by the way, to watch the EUWCQ and Nationals. As far as I could tell, people were being really nice in the comments. I know people can be quite a nasty place on the internet. People can be quite nasty on the internet, can be quite a harsh place. People were being so nice to me. I'm very thankful for that. And yeah, it seemed to go really well. I'd love to be able to do more of these things. What kind of a life do I live? It's insane, you know? So thank you so much for watching. Thank you for watching this. Thank you for watching the events that I was able to commentate. It was a privilege enough to do so. I appreciate you all very much. I'll see you all very soon. Take care. Bye-bye.